Did I hit him with a what's up, you guys?
What's up, YouTube? It's your number one doggy.
Alright, we're gonna have that as an intro. Alright, there we go. What's up, you guys? It's your number 2 doggy and your number 1. You guys can pick whichever one's the better one. But I'm making a blade guide. Gonna be probably my one and only, maybe. I might make more, but it's not gonna be me making it. It's Clem editing for me. So yeah, we'll see if we make more. But like, this is probably gonna be like one of the only videos that I make, like actually like long form or whatever, with like guide form. And it's gonna be about RE Blade, Advanced RE Blade Guide. It's gonna be on the 8 damage build that Powder Snow is running in Korea, that I recently started playing, and it is really good. But you need to be really good at the class. I cannot stress this enough. You need to know the fight really well. You need to be really good at the class. If you cannot play the standard build well, you cannot play this build. So that being said, it's still really fun, and there's 0 downtime on this build compared to the standard build, where the standard build you're waiting on Turning Slash and Earth Cleaver. But yeah, like this build, basically the idea behind it is you want to use as few skills as possible to get your meter gen. So you're running like 4 welts and level 5 orb circulation in your alignment tree. And this is like all to generate enough meter to get another surge. And basically you get more surges and more Ts. And you have no downtime. And all your skills are damage skills at the same time. So it's really good if you play it well. So again, do not play this build unless you are Powder Snow or like you're already really good at the other build. Yeah, basically the build does 10% more damage in Trixion, but you need to have insane uptime to make it work. If you do not have that uptime or you mess up, you're losing a lot of damage, and in like raids where you don't know the fight very well, you're probably just gonna be doing the same damage, if not worse damage, depending on how well you play. But in most scenarios, if you're like good enough at the build, you will probably do the same damage, if not better damage, as long as like you're like pretty good at the class. Again, like this is like mainly this build was made for Mordum Gate 3 because it's a Trixion boss, and I can assure you this build is 100% better than the other build for Mordum Gate 3. I cannot say it's better for other gates, but for most people it would probably be better for Mordum Gate 3. With that being said, we can just jump into it. Engravings. So Grudge, Adrenaline, Ambush are going to be like your main 3, and then you get to choose between the last 3, or 2 out of the last 3. So I have a 9/7 on Cursed Doll and Adrenaline, so that's why I run Cursed Doll. But ideally you'd want to run Raid Captain and like Keen Blunt if you have a Critsin, or like Relic Adren. Keen Blunt will edge out Cursed Doll a little bit, but again, I have a Cursed Doll stone, which is why I use it. If you have like Keen Blunt books or like Cursed Doll books, you can also run Keen Blunt Cursed Doll, which is fine. But Raid Captain's gonna be the highest damage, especially when you're playing with an artist. You want most of your damage done in Maelstrom anyways. Like that's like how the build works and how the standard build works too. So ideally, you want like Raid Captain to benefit from like the 19% damage that it is on Relic, if you have Relic books. And if you have an artist, they give you movement speed on Moonfall as well, which is really nice. And then Cursed Doll can flex with Keen Blunt. So either of those 3, like I said, if you have books for one of them, you can use like Cursed Doll or whatever you have books, or if you have a stone, that's totally fine. But ceiling is Raid Captain and Keen Blunt, and then the other 3 that I mentioned, right? If you have a Critsin or a Relic Adren. We can go into Ark Passive. So Ark Passive is just spec crit as usual. I like 3 Limit Break because I have Relic Adren, so I have over 80% crit rate. You don't have that much evolution damage, so like you want as much evolution damage as possible, which is why I run Limit Break level 3. You can go Keen Sense 1. You can, but the crit is less valuable when you start getting like critical synergies or like Relic Adren or whatever, which is why I run Limit Break 3. And then Strike is like self-explanatory. You always run that. And then Standing Striker, there's no other option for Blade, so you just go Standing Striker. And Lyman, this is where it's also weird. I was skeptical at first too. But basically you run all these and then you run level 2 of the main node. This is like the vestige surge that you use to go through the boss. You leave that at level 2. It's minus 6% damage from not taking this node, but then you put in 5 orb circ and then you put 1 point here. So this is 2.5% damage compared to like what, 4% damage from doing this, 3 to 4%, I think. I just kind of did the math really fast. I don't know the actual number, but for not taking level 3 and then taking like orb circ, also all orb circ, you're losing about 3 to 4%, I think. But you're gonna make up for it by like having an extra damage skill and then all the other stuff that I mentioned, right? When you play this build. But yeah, you want level 5 orb circ, and then if you have the Remeria points, like the new ones from Remeria, you put 1 point into swordcraft because you can't put it anywhere else. So until we get level 3 this and level 5 this, the build would be like, the build's gonna be like good. Well, it is good, which is why I'm running it, but it'll be like must run later when we do get these points. But I don't know when it's gonna be. We're gonna need a lot of points for that. And then Leap Tree, you want level 3 instant spell. This is very important. You need the mana cost reduction. And then T skill damage, obviously, and then you can put the 3 points into hyper skill damage. Powder Snow runs cooldown on this, but you literally don't need it. I don't know why he runs it. Even if you have like the bracelet 2% cooldown, like this is useless because the way T works is when you do a rotation on the boss, you get cooldown when you surge, and it's going to be around the same cooldown regardless of if you take this or not. So do not take this. This is a complete waste of points. Don't do it. And then level 3 here. This is going to make your T skill instant cast. I'm sure you guys know. But yeah, like when you should play it is like if you have like a decent set of gems. So you want a level 10 on surge, ideally, because that's your highest damage. It's going to be 20% of your damage. And it's going to be guaranteed back attack on that skill, so like you definitely want the level 10 on that. And then you want a level 10 cooldown on Maelstrom. Level 10 on Maelstrom, you're going to have like the build is capped by your Maelstrom because like all your skills should be sent in Maelstrom, or like most of them. So you want to have Maelstrom up as much as possible. And what else? You want a level 9 cooldown on Blitz Rush. I haven't tested it. I have a level 8 on Blitz Rush right now. Ideally I want like a level 8, level 9 or 10. But Blitz Rush is there to fix your rotation if you mess up. So like if you have a high level cooldown, like level 8 is like you're like kind of waiting a little bit from what I noticed. Ideally you get like to level 9 or level 10. But you also would like that at some point. And then obviously you want as high level gems as possible because again it's 8 damage gems. 8 damage gems that you're using. So like all your skills are doing damage. Turning slash cooldown is nice because then you get more push immune. Like it comes up faster after you surge, which is super nice if you need it. You're gonna be using your spacebar a lot to move, so like having extra like cooldown on turning slash is like super nice. But it's not really needed. So like if you want like one on Soul's Orber or something, that's also okay. Soul's Orber or Void Strike, either one of those. So this is the this is for Brel. I can show Mordum in a second, but for Brel, or just in general, your skills in a real raid, it's gonna be your T and your surge because you're getting more T's and surges in the fight. So these two will be your highest. So this would make up for like 42% of your damage ish. And then the next highest can be Death Sentence. Death Sentence you use every single rotation, which is why we have it at level 14. I'll show you like the build in a second, but this is like your second highest. Twin Shadow's your third, and then so forth. These skills are like around the same. I would say Soul's Orber and Blitz Rush you probably want higher. Earth Cleaver you want to skip as much as possible in a raid, but it still ends up being high because like you end up needing to use it in a real raid. And then Turning Slash and Void Strike. And so like as you see, like every skill is doing a lot of damage. So like the higher level gems that you have, the more like damage that it'll do. So this is Mordum, Gate 3, my first clear. I played pretty bad, so I don't know if it's like completely accurate, but it's like around the same as you saw. But these three are like around the same level of damage. So like these three like don't really matter too much. Whichever one that you get, that you would put higher. Skills. So skills is, it's gonna look really weird because it is weird, but the idea behind it is all your skills are level 10 plus, so you need to make sacrifices in other areas when you're making like when you're putting your points in, right? The reason we have 11 at all like the smaller ones, like you would think like adding it to like level 13 like Blitz Rush or like Soul's Over would be better, but it's actually not, because you get the most damage from 10 to 11, which is why we want to increase it from 10 to 11. And that's why it's like 11 for these two. These two are the lowest, and then 12 for the next ones, and then 14 for the ones that we use every single rotation. So we use Twin Shadow, Death Sentence every single rotation. And then Turning Slash just doesn't really do much damage, so that's why we leave it at 11. But yeah, basically you have everything over level 10. Maelstrom's level 10, because you really need this one. This one reduces like the time it takes to cast, and then it gives you 2 stacks, which is really important, which I'll go into later. And then runes are also really weird. So the original build, you would run 2 bleeds, 2 focus runes, and only 1 wealth on Void Strike. But this build, you're running 4 wealth runes, and you need 4 wealth runes. So the main one's going to be on Void Strike. This is going to be your legendary wealth. And then the purple wealth is going to be on Soul's Over and Twin Shadow. Twin Shadow, you have 2 stacks of, so this is going to be like, which is why you have the purple wealth on it, because like sometimes you need to use it twice. And then blue wealth on Blitz Rush and Turning Slash. And then you have Gale Winds on Earth Cleaver and Death Sentence, because you're using every rotation. Earth Cleaver you kind of skip sometimes, every other rotation, but we'll go into that later when I go over the rotation. And that's like the rune setup. I actually don't know if this is like the optimal point setup, but this is definitely the optimal rune setup for this build. But judging by how like it looks in the logs, this seems to be like the best way you can do it for now. So movement, very important. You guys don't have spin cut, which is why I said another reason, like you need to be good at the build already. And being good at the build is knowing which skills move you where. So you see like from here to here, you would think like you'd probably just send it like that, right? Like that's like, this is the first skill, so Twin Shadow. But like if you want to optimize like your damage and like your movement or like your back attack damage in like non-Mordum fight, you want to like use it like this. That didn't hit the back, but you get the idea. It's like that. Like it looks like it shouldn't hit the back, but it does, because the damage doesn't come until you stand right here. Void Strike you can also use at like an angle like that if you want to get to the back. T, this is the main one. You almost always want a back attack T. Very important. So the way you can do this, let's say like I'm on. Let me just do like a rotation on the front. So there, like I use my Death Sentence to move me slightly out, and then I would like T to the back like that. It's like the T, like if you're stuck on the boss like that, then like you're gonna get stuck on the boss if you try to do that. But that's like you want to use like your tools, like I said. So Death Sentence moves you out slightly. So like it's very important. Like micro stuttering, micro movement. And like use all your tools available to move around the boss. So Soul's Over, as you know, it has 2 hits. The first hit is like the long slash, and the follow-up is a big like cylinder around your character. And the hitbox, it works like Vestige. If you play Soul Eater, you can use it to like go straight backwards if you're close enough to the boss. So when you're close enough to the boss, let's say like I use it like this. So I go straight out, I get both hits there. I don't lose any damage, I don't lose anything. And then like it's really useful like if you're trying to get out for a mechanic. Let's say like it's like outside safe, like you don't have your turning side, you don't have any push immune. You can do that, and then Blitz Rush from afar, and then Twin Shadow go back in. That's like the idea of like how you can use it. if you're like on the front, for example, you can like I said, you can Soul Absorber out like that, and then Twin Shadow in. There's a lot of movement options. You might feel like there's not a lot because you don't have Spin Cut, which is true, right? But you have a lot of options. You just have to play smart around it and use it properly. So like just like practicing movement around the boss is very important. So like if you already have trouble with this on the original build, I would probably not play the build. Like I said, this is very important because you don't have Spin Cut. You only have your Surge. Or so you think. Like I said, you can use all these skills to like move you like if you need to. So like mastering all the movement skill options will make you 10 times better at this build. And then we can just jump into rotation real quick. So it's gonna look dizzy because it is dizzy, and it's not the same rotation every single time. Okay, so I just want to preface that. So let me just go over the let me do the rotation real quick. And you're probably gonna need to watch it over and over and practice along because, like I said, it's not intuitive. You need to look at your meter while you're doing your rotation and adjust accordingly. Like I said, you're skipping Earth Cleaver whenever you can, but if you need it for meter, you use it, and that's like the idea behind the build. But most of the time in raid, you'll probably be using Earth Cleaver, which is why like it does like a lot of damage. So yeah, let me just do the rotation real quick. So this is the opener. And then refresh Maelstrom whenever it's about to come off. So I'm just like constantly looking at my meter to see if like I'll get enough meter, which is why I said you need to be like aware of like your meter the whole time. And then you also need to be aware like where your Maelstrom is at if you need to like re-Maelstrom for like your rotation. So they're at the Earth Cleaver because I didn't have enough meter. And it comes with practice when you play the build. And you notice how like my Maelstrom is not resetting because I'm surging too fast. That is normal, which is why you want the Maelstrom level 10. So on this rotation, you see how I didn't get enough meter? I had to use my Blitz Rush to recover. So you're gonna find that's gonna happen pretty often, especially in a raid. In Trixion, you'll find that it happens like every like 5th surge. It's hard to explain, which is why I'm making a video. But eventually you'll come to a point where like your Maelstrom won't be up while you're doing your rotation. It's usually gonna be on the Void Strike rotation, where like you don't have Maelstrom on a couple skills, and then like you'll be short meter a little bit, which is where you can use second Maelstrom or Blitz Rush to recover. And that's why you want Blitz Rush like a high level cooldown, right? So yeah, the build is not cheap. The gameplay is very hard, and like yeah, it is a very difficult build, 100%. And by the way, you always want to stimmy. It's very important that you stimmy because you're gonna get the RE buff here, which is like the attack speed, movement speed, and the attack power. All of these are important. Movement speed for the raid captain, attack power for your rotation and stuff. And it just makes your rotation faster. It's really important. And like when you surge, you get like the Orb Circ buff, which gives you like meter on your rotation too, which is like I said, you need Orb Circ 5 to make the build work. So when you're entering the raid, you can use Twin Shadow, Death Sentence, and like Earth Cleaver to stack your Adren. You only need 3 stacks. Let me just drop my Adren stacks and show you real quick. So Twin Shadow, Death Sentence, Earth Cleaver, and then you're gonna Maelstrom, Turning Slash, and then T, and that's gonna get you your 6 stacks. And then immediately after you T, you're gonna Surge, which is gonna give you the cooldown on your T. And then you're gonna use Soul Absorber and Blitz Rush immediately after because like the cooldowns are up, right? And then you're gonna have Maelstrom up the whole time. So let me just do it fast real quick. So it's gonna be Maelstrom, turning slash T, and then Surge, and then you still have Maelstrom out, which is why I send all these skills right here. And then now you repop your Maelstrom because it just wore off, right? And that's like the opener, and then you just continue on as normal. So the idea behind it, you're using as few skills as possible to enter to get your identity. So basically, when you do your rotation, you are gonna do like your Maelstrom, and then you're gonna start with Soul Absorber, Blitz Rush, Twin Shadow, Death Sentence, Turning Slash. So like you always want to use, you're always gonna use Twin Shadow, Death Sentence, and Turning Slash every single rotation. These three are always gonna be used. And then for the first rotation, you're gonna use the Soul Absorber, Blitz Rush, like I said. And then after you Surge, you're gonna use Void Strike, which is compared to the old build, you need as high cooldown as possible on Soul Absorber because you're always waiting on this. But this build, you don't have to have a cooldown because you're using it every other rotation, and you'll get the cooldown back naturally by just surging. So that's like the first rotation, and then you use Void Strike starting on the next rotation, and then yeah, that's like the idea behind it. So like Void Strike would be the next rotation, like I said. And then you really need Maelstrom with Void Strike. If you don't have Maelstrom with Void Strike, you will 100% need to recover with Blitz Rush. So that's like the idea behind it. So that was a lot, I know, which is why I said it's like only for like people who like want like already like mastered the other build and want like something that's like hard to play but like more damage. So yeah, that's the idea behind it. So like I said, these skills together, my bottom row and then Twin Shadow, and then the next rotation after you Surge is going to be Void Strike with T. This is very important. You want T lined up with your Void Strike because your T gives you enough meter with Void Strike and other skills to get your bubbles. Awakening, ideally you want to use it on your Void Strike rotation because your Soul Absorber Blitz Rush rotation does way more damage than your Void Strike. These two skills do more damage than Void Strike. So let me just like go over it real quick. So I just do that. And then Maelstrom before, so you get full bubbles. And then T, and then Surge. So like that's like when you use your rotation or your awakening. And let's say like you don't have T. So let's say I accidentally use T on my Soul Absorber Blitz Rush rotation, right? And I don't have T here. That's where you would use your Blitz Rush to recover, right? And that's where the cooldown comes in from the Blitz Rush gem. And that's like where the cooldown comes in Blitz Rush. You see, like when I had the level 8, I was like waiting a little bit for the Blitz Rush because I used it on the last rotation. But when you have a higher cooldown, you won't really have to wait for it as long as you like use the other skills. All right, so for the Blitz Rush rotation, the recovery on the Void Strike rotation, sometimes when you're doing the rotation, your Maelstrom cooldown is gonna, or your Maelstrom buff is gonna wear out, which means you won't have Maelstrom up for the entirety of the duration of the Void Strike rotation, and then you'll be forced to use Blitz Rush to recover at the end of your Void Strike rotation. So let me just do like a rotation and show you guys how it works. It kind of like pops up like 5 to like 7 surges into your rotation. I use my Earth over here to fix it, and then this one, keep continuing. It's actually kind of a while into the rotation now that I'm doing it. It also depends how often you refresh your Maelstrom stats. Like right here is when I'm gonna have to use Blitz Rush to fix my rotation. Hence the cooldown gem, so you can use it without delays, and then use it again there at the end of your Soul Absorber rotation. and now it's fixed. Now it's fixed, but then it's gonna happen again pretty soon. Probably in the rotation after this one. Yeah, this one. My Maelstrom's about to wear out, and now I Blitz Rush again to fix it. And then I Blitz Rush again at the end of that one, and now it's fixed. So you can see how like it's kind of confusing. Like you have to do like the rotation for like a full like minute before like it actually starts popping up, and then it like pops up every like 4 to 5 surges. So one thing to know about this build is when you have really high uptime, you're gonna find that you're gonna overcast your Maelstrom. The stack won't take over before you surge, which means like you don't get like the cooldown reduction, and that's gonna be normal. Which is why we need to use Blitz Rush to recover at the end of the Void Strike rotation from time to time. Is when you have like too high uptime, like you want to send the surges as fast as possible, and then like eventually it comes a point where like you won't have Maelstrom up, and then that's when like the Blitz Rush cooldown gem kicks in, and which is also why you kind of want like a high cooldown gem on Maelstrom. So when you're surging super fast, like sometimes you'll get the stack back, and then you can surge, which will reduce the amount of times you would need to Blitz Rush to recover. So that's also like the reason why you like I recommend like a level 10 on Maelstrom and then level 9 on Blitz Rush. Yeah. For optimal Atro, you can actually get 2 Ts and 3 surges, I believe. But it's really hard to get the 3rd surge. But the idea behind it is you'd want to be on your Void Strike rotation. So let me just do the rotation real quick. So here you can Atro T here and then surge. And then you do your Soul's Orb rotation like normal. And then now you have your T again. And then now you get your 3rd surge. So like that's like how you do the optimal Atro rotation. And we can go over how to fix rotation. So this is gonna be like the main one. This is like the reason why I think the build is not gonna be that good. You might think it's better for recovery, which it is, but you're losing a lot of damage by recovering, if that makes sense. Because like you're delaying your surges, delaying your Ts, and you're just all around like using extra skills that you don't really want to use. Like you want to use your surge and T. That's like your 2 main bread and butter skills. But yeah, like the other skills you don't really want to use. Like Earth Cleaver is like a really long cast per damage window. Like look how long that takes to cast. Like for the damage, it's not like worth it to cast that. In a real raid, like I said, you'll be using Earth Cleaver a lot more often because like you're not going to be like hitting the boss as often with Maelstrom. So you're going to need the Earth Cleaver for meter. And then a lot of times you're going to need Blitz Rush to recover your meter, which is like what I'm going to show you here. Let's say like you miss your Soul's Orb like that. Like you completely whiff. That's like where you use like your 2nd Maelstrom and then your 2nd Twin Shadow. I don't really have like the best examples of this, but I'm like trying to show you in Trixion. Let's say like I miss Soul's Orb. So if you have, that's why you have 2 stacks Twin Shadows. So like Twin Shadows like used to recover. Worst case scenario, you would use your Void Strike. So let's say I didn't have my meter here. You would use your Void Strike to recover if you didn't have Twin Shadow or 2nd Maelstrom. Or you'd even use T. So like you do that. So let me just like do a rotation with like all of my skills. So let's say like I didn't have any skills and I was like, now I like, let's say I didn't have meter and I use Void Strike. I don't have anything, right? So now I'm forced to use like everything that I don't want to use on this rotation. And then now I'm a Void Strike rotation. But I'm still fucked because like my T isn't up, so I can't generate the meter there. And then now I'm finally fixed. But look how like long that took me to fix that. And now I can use T on that rotation. Again, like you can't use T on your Souls Over rotation because you need it for meter on your Void Strike rotation. Basically, the order of like when you want to recover, the order of skills, like you use like your like this rotation. So you use like the Souls Over, Blitz Rush rotation. The last skill you should be using is your Void Strike, because when you put both of them on cooldown, like I said, like that, now you have no, like, these are your main meter gens. Your Souls Over and Void Strike. Now they're on cooldown, now you're like waiting on those. So look how long I'm waiting. So the last one you want to use is the other meter gen for the other rotation. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. It's like here, I would not want to use my Souls Over, but like, let's say I need to. You want to use Earth Cleaver or Blitz Rush to get your meter there, and if you still don't have enough meter, then, or as you would use second Twin Shadow, second Maelstrom, and then if you don't have it, then you'd have to use your Souls Over. So it's like, you do not want to use these two skills in the same rotation, basically. As long as you don't use these two same skills in the same rotation, you'll be like, it'll be a lot better. Like you won't like, it won't be that bad, like that much of a damage loss. So now I'm on the side, right? I just used Twin Shadow. That's one of my movement options gone, but I'm on my Void Strike rotation, so I can use. I'll be using Death Sentence out right here, and then T. I'll try to use, well, I don't have spacebar to move around the boss. So like in this situation, like you want to back attack your T, but in this situation I didn't have any movement options, so which is why I T here, which is not a back attack, and then I surge to the back of the boss here. And then one thing you'll notice, like when I'm in the boss right here, when you surge, you'll probably notice that you get stuck on the boss a lot, but you can actually send it slightly. You can send it left and slightly backwards, and it'll still hit the boss, because the boss hitbox is bigger than the hitbox of where you're standing in the boss. So let me show it again. Okay, so here I T and then I Earth Cleaver because I still need meter. I Earth Cleaver into the boss, and then I surge slightly out this way, and I'm gonna Twin Shadow back in probably. I didn't watch it, but that's probably what's gonna happen. So you see how that surge still hit. Well, I didn't Twin Shadow, but like Souls Over also works there. You see, right? Like this movement is very important for Mordum phase 1. In the other phases, it doesn't really matter, but if you want to optimize your damage and hit the boss like in a circle, like during the lightning patterns, it's like what you're gonna have to do to like make do, because you don't have spin cut, right? So you see like there, like, or let's see on this rotation. So he turns here after this. So I surge out, but still get the damage. And I didn't have full meter, so I had to use my Blitz Rush there. So this is like how like you would want to greet it. You use all these skills to move around the boss, which is why I said if you're not good at Blade already and you can't do this, then this build is probably not going to be for you, because you're gonna have to do this not only in this boss. I messed up there, but not only in this boss you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have to do it in other raids that isn't Mordum, because like you don't have any mobility options, right? So here I don't go to the back because like I'm waiting for that puddle. But yeah. So like you see like how I'm using all these skills to move to the back. Like if you're not comfortable doing that already, you're gonna have issues. And on that rotation, you can see like I need the Blitz Rush to fix my rotation. Like I said, you want to keep track of your meter during your rotation. If you need Blitz Rush to recover, then that's like when you would use like your Blitz Rush on the Void Strike rotation. And then what changes on the Souls Orb rotation, you just use Blitz Rush at the end of your rotation here, after Earth Cleaver. And that's like how you recover. So there, I second Maelstrom there. Or sorry, I second Twin Shadow there. Because you see, like, which is why like, this build, even though I'm doing Mordum, but I have a Puddle and I use my second Maelstrom, then I'm like kind of fucked on the next rotation. I can show you. I probably should have Surged here, and then Souls Orbed and Blitz Rush before getting out, so I can get the meter from the Maelstrom at least. But that's like hindsight, like you can't always do that. I drop it out, and then now I Surge without Maelstrom, and now I still don't have Maelstrom because it's still on 0 stacks. So now I'm gonna have to Maelstrom mid rotation and fix it, hopefully, which is what I do. But then I still have to use second Twin Shadow. So you use second Twin Shadow, second Maelstrom, second everything. You save Void Strike for last. If you still need meter, then you would use a Void Strike. But ideally, you don't use Void Strike, which is what I do here.
Oh wait, he's already constructed. Let me do that.
And then on this rotation, since you don't have Twin Shadow, I can second Twin Shadow again, but you want to reset these stacks in case that happens again. So. Which is why I use Blitz Rush to fix my rotation on Void Strike instead of using Twin Shadow. So I'll show you again. So now I don't have Twin Shadow unless I use the second one, which is not what you want to do. You just use everything as normal, and then you fit in the Blitz Rush at the end to fix your rotation, and then you reset your Twin Shadow stacks, which is very important. Like I said, you want to keep 2 stacks at all times in case you mess up, which is what happened, and then you can continue doing the rotation as normal.
You get the gun.
And this is also the reason why I said Blitz Rush cooldown is important, because like you're going to be using it to recover like pretty often, especially in non-Mordum fight. But even in Mordum, it's useful. And then yeah, but I use the one skill I shouldn't have used, which is Souls Orb, to fix my rotation because I missed the Void Strike. Should have used Blitz Rush. But I fucked up and it is what it is. So now on this rotation, what I should do is I'm gonna have to wait for Souls Orb. So like you're gonna see me AFK for quite a bit here.
Dude, just some...
Second. Oh, I actually messed up. So I used Void Strike instead.
Unfillable for me?
I
don't have enough.
I messed up this whole thing. So like you see how like when you mess up, like you like troll your rotation, and now I don't have T again for my Void Strike. What I'm supposed to do is not use my T on the Souls Over window, because what ends up happening is like I'm using T with Souls Over every single rotation, and then I'll never have enough meter on the Void Strike rotation. I'm always gonna have to Blitz Rush it, which is gonna slow down your rotation, especially if you don't have the cooldown gem, like I said. So here I should not use T. I have all my skills up. I should not use T. I should skip it and then save it for the Void Strike rotation. So that's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah. And then now it's fixed. But you see how long it took me to fix that? But this is like, you can set up an optimal surge rotation here. So I would surge here. And then I would use Void Strike, Twin Shadow, Earth Cleaver, Death Sentence, Maelstrom, Turning Slash. And then I would save the T for the end when I'm about to surge. And then Atro, T, Surge, and then start doing my Souls Over rotation. And that's like the optimal rotation for Atro. Okay, so here I am at the front. I got knocked through the boss and I messed up. And I have my T up. Like I said, you want to go for back attack T if possible. So right here, I'm in the front. I spacebar over here. I'm probably going to T to the back here. Like you really want to hit the back attack T if possible. But if not, then it's fine. But yeah, I also got knocked on my mission, which is bad. But yeah, I got the back attack T, and it literally does. You get the crit rate, you get the damage, and you get ambush master and everything. Really want to get the back attack on T. But Again, if you can't do it, then you can't do it. It is what it is. I got knocked out of the Maelstrom right there. And what that does, like, you don't have Maelstrom for these skills, and then you see I'm short meter here. And I had to use Blitz Rush to recover. And then now I don't even have Maelstrom for my Soul Absorber and everything else. So, like, now I'm going to be forced to, like, send all these skills without Maelstrom, without the attack speed, without the meter gen. And then send everything, including Earth Cleaver. And I also had the second Twin Shadow, as you saw there. Which, again, is, like, it's there to use, but if you use it, like, you're going to be waiting on cooldowns at some point. Like, waiting on a skill to, like, use. So he's leaving here. Like, another reason why I think the build is not that good, or, like, even things like this is out of your control, because, like, the moment you stop hitting the boss, like, you're going to be losing Maelstrom and losing your stacks. So you really get fucked by boss patterns sometimes. Like, if the boss leaves and, like, you just pop your second Maelstrom, didn't use any skills, you're at 0% meter, then, like, you're kind of boned. Which is also the reason why you take orb circulation level 5, so you get, like, at least some meter recovery to make up for that, right? Right here I have my second Maelstrom, so it's fine. I also have my ulti. I should have Maelstrom and ulted, but I didn't. Another thing, like, I mean, I'm sure you guys would know, but, like, a lot of blade skills moves the character forward. So I use, like, everything here, including spacebar, to chase the boss and stick to the boss, because, like, you want to be hitting the boss the whole time. That's the point of the build, right? And that's, like, how you, like, work around it. So, like, now, since I didn't surge through the boss there, what I should have done was Twin Shadow this way and then use my Soul Absorber. So, like, you want to you want to minimize the time that you're moving around, like what I'm doing right here, because the time that you spend moving around is the time that you could have spent pressing a skill. So I should have used Twin Shadow in this situation. Like I said, the reason why you want to keep your Twin Shadow at 2 stacks is not only for recovery, but it's for moments like that, or like this, where I can just use it to get to the back. But instead I walk over, which is not what you want to do again. You don't want to walk, you want to use your skills to move around the boss. That's the opener. You always want to do this opener, you always want to stimmy. So I'll show you again. So I have 3 stacks. Like I said, use Twin Shadow, Death Sentence, Earth Cleaver. And then Maelstrom, turning / T, and then Surge while your T is going off. You'll get the damage bonus from the remaining energy tree when you do it this way. You won't get it for the entirety, but, like, you get it for, like, a good portion of it, which is why you do it this way. I ulti this pattern. Again, you want to ulti on the Void Strike rotation if you want to maximize your damage, because, like, the Void Strike rotation, you don't do as much damage, and you still get the T. The T is the important part from this build. The T will have the most damage per cast, which is why you want to use the T at the end of this rotation as well. Oh, another thing here. So this is, like, another, like, small thing, like, movement wise, that you can also incorporate into standard build. So you see here, like, the boss turned towards me, so I immediately spacebar this way. Pre-charge my Soul Absorber on the side. This is not back attack. Sometimes it'll end up being back attack on the second hit if you're angled right. But the idea behind it is, like, the second hitbox is like Vestige, like I said, is super wide. You can use it to get behind the boss, which is what I'm doing here. So I get behind the boss and I get both hits. And the important part is getting both hits. So if you can't get both hits, then don't do it. But you want to get both hits. It's very important. So there, like, right there. This is also another thing I did. I think the buyer dropped a puddle. Yeah, the buyer's puddle, I actually placed it perfectly, but what I wanted to show there is I used Soul Absorber the first hit to hit the boss, and then the second, like, I get the second hit as well, but I use it to get out, because like I said, you don't have that many tools to get out. It's like Soul Absorber is, like, one of the, like, tools to get out while doing damage. So, like, this is my puddle, like the bottommost one. It would have been fine, but he kind of trolled me there. And then you Twin Shadow in, because Twin Shadow, again, is a movement skill.
Bro.
I missed a lot of skills. I missed my T and my Death Sentence, so like now I know I'm gonna need to Blitz Rush on this rotation to fix my rotation. So continue as normal, and then Blitz Rush, and then now I have my full meter. So Blitz, which is again why you want to use your Blitz Rush to recover. It gives you like a really decent amount of meter. So this is gonna be like I'm gonna try to do the optimal Atro rotation. Let me see if I get the 3 surges like I said. So I Atro and then T and then Surge. I don't have Maelstrom out, which is the problem. So I'm gonna have to use Earth Cleaver at this rotation. But it's not that bad. So let's see if I get everything off. That's okay. So I think I barely didn't get the last Surge, and part of the reason was because I didn't have Maelstrom during the first rotation. I was forced to use Earth Cleaver. But like I said, it's very hard to get the 3rd Surge in, but you should ideally get 2 Ts in. Getting 2 Ts in is the most important part, which is what I did here. Okay, so here.
What is that?
This is like an example of using Death Sentence to move out of the boss hitbox. So I'm Void Striking in, right? I Void Strike in, I'm in the hitbox. If I use T to get to the back without using anything else, I'm just gonna get stuck on the boss, right? So what I do here, I don't even use my spacebar. So like Twin Shadow, Death Sentence out, still hit the boss. This is important, still hit the boss. And then T to the back. And that's like the movement that you're gonna need when you play this build. There, I thought it wouldn't die, so I ended up using my Void Strike, which is really bad. So let's see how I recover. I actually don't remember how I recovered. So yeah, I Void Strike, I didn't hit anything. So now I have to use like other skills.
That's not good.
Yeah, so like I said, you want to use every other skill besides Soul's Over. This is very important, like I said. So I use 2nd Twin Shadow, Blitz Rush, and 2nd Maelstrom on this rotation. So use everything else besides Soul's Over, which is very important. And then now I just use Blitz Rush at the end of my rotation with Earth Cleaver, and then now it's fixed. So there, you have full uptime on this. I just Turning Slash, right? Now I Surge. Now I have Turning Slash again. Now I Surge to the back. So like that's like a proper use of like your kit, and which is also another reason why you want to run the cooldown on Turning Slash, so you have it for moments like that where you need it. Now you could say you could use spacebar, but like you want to like I said, you want to minimize the amount of times you use spacebar, so you can save it for like other things, like imminent danger type of situations. Things like for Brel, this one, like the co-op counter where she freezes you, where you need spacebar, like you ideally have spacebar for that. Here is also another reason why you want the cooldown on Turning Slash. So it comes up a lot faster when you Surge. Like if I didn't have the cooldown gem, I wouldn't have had it. I would have the spacebar. Spacebar is fine, but again, you want to minimize the amount of times you use spacebar, because again, it's like your only option to like get out of danger really fast, right? You just want to keep it available. I guess like the last thing I would mention, like don't be afraid to second Maelstrom. You'll fix it eventually, as long as you're hitting the boss the whole time that the Maelstrom's up. So what I mean by that is like you end up surging way before your Maelstrom is actually like done, and then you use that Maelstrom buff to use the next meter gen skill. So like the next meter gen skill in this situation would be my Void Strike. If I use that with the previous Maelstrom buff, then eventually it'll end up fixing itself up, and then you'll get the Maelstrom stacks back. But then you'll be using both stacks pretty consistently, because like the ticks won't roll over before you surge a lot of the time. And like yeah, that's like the idea behind it. But like I think I went over like pretty much everything. So yeah, peace. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Remember to wait, cut that out. What do I say, guys? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. And come watch me at twitch.tv/matchu, because I'm probably never gonna make these videos ever again. And if I do, I don't think it'd be as detailed as this. So just come watch me at twitch.tv/matchi right here. Right here, boom. /matchi right here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right. All right, there you go, man.